Marisa Viana of the Women's Major Group. Marisa? Okay, very good. Go right ahead.
Good morning. The Women's Major Group will not rest until we walk out of the UN with a transformative and inclusive agenda grounded in respect for all human rights and the planet. It would be a disservice to billions of women and girls if we allow the rhetoric to blindside the vision of a world where all can live free from poverty, violence, and discrimination. The Women's Major Group identified 10 red flags on the Zero Draft and will submit specific language recommendations to reflect the following. Gender equality and the human rights of women and girls must be recognized as cross-cutting throughout the political declaration, not only in reference to the goals and the targets. The Zero Draft falls short of recognizing that women and girls are the majority live in poverty and experience persistent, multidimensional, and intersecting inequalities. They bear the disproportionate burden of economic and environmental crisis. We must recognize that human rights are not only an inherent entitlement, they are also essential conditions for gender equality, the eradication of poverty, and the achievement of sustainable development goals that go beyond economic growth. We need to reaffirm existing human rights obligations and international agreements pertaining to gender equality and women's human rights. At the core of a human rights-based approach is the principle of non-discrimination without distinction of any kind. We cannot list a few groups and exclude others, as in paragraph 17. The list must be broadened and explicitly state that there will be no discrimination of any kind in the implementation of the agenda, including for people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. Lastly, sustainable development will not be achieved if we continue to ignore the environmental damage created by unsustainable patterns of consumption and production. The Zero Draft must clearly state the root cause of ongoing environmental crisis in order to transform the current economic model that fuels inequalities and destroys the environment. I'm here to say that what women want is political will and financing to ensure that gender equality is reflected as cross-cutting throughout this agenda. We want strong commitment to human rights, and we want an agenda that puts people and the planet before profit. Thank you, co-chairs.